Bonjour, mon nom est Francis Sabourin de Patrimoine Richardson, accompagné de A5 Ferry-Aran. Aujourd'hui, nous allons parler d'investissement durable, entre autres l'électrification du parc automobile que nous voyons à travers le monde. C'est un sujet de grand intérêt des investisseurs, puis c'est pour cette raison-là que nous avons voulu faire une petite présentation pour expliquer un peu notre vision sur ce secteur-là, qui est en effervescence et qui va continuer à l'être. Asank, can you go over the changes that we have faced since Paris Accord in 2015 and so on?
Sure. Bonjour tout le monde. So yes, it's about a great change that we're seeing right now, and we're expecting great opportunity for the next 10 years. So starting 2015, when the leaders gathered in Paris and dedicated that they're going to be cutting emission to reduce the greenhouse emission, and now we had it like recently in Glasgow, Scotland. This means that the investment opportunity for the next 10-15 years is about $100 to $150 trillion. And in the context of the United States, it's about $8 trillion, minimum $8 trillion in the next 10 years. As you see in the chart, you see how fast and how steep this investment needs going to go up, because it's a change in infrastructure, it's a change in the habit of consumer, and that's a great opportunity, we think, for the next 10 years.
Qui va payer pour ça, Asank? Who's going to pay for that?
I think that's let's put this question for the Ottawa or White House, but yeah. I'm glad that you brought it up, because in the last social and climate legislation that Monsieur Biden pushed to the Senate and Congress, we have, out of that $1.8 trillion of the bill, we have roughly $600 billion directly, 100% directly to the climate change. So from the fiscal perspective, that the public money, just $600 billion in the current and the next years we're talking about.
Excellent. Ils vont trouver les moyens de le financer. Dans nos thèmes d'investissement, voyez-vous, on a deux thématiques qu'on va vous expliquer aujourd'hui. Un, c'est la réduction des effets de serre, des gaz à effet de serre, et augmenter la durabilité environnementale, c'est-à-dire l'investissement durable qu'on parlait un petit peu plus tôt dans la présentation. Asank, can you go on both sides of the article?
So, based on the technology that we have right now and the technology that the scientists expect to be achieved in the next 10 years, we can easily cut 60 to 70% of the emission that we have right now, okay? And this emission is mainly about CO2 and methane. Speaking of the CO2, we are speaking about the power generation, the transmission of the electricity that we make, all the grid that we have as infrastructure, sequestrating or capturing of the CO2 at the oil field or the cement factories, okay? And also we have, as you know, all these EVs technology, the station technology, and the duty heavy trucks or buses that are 24/7 driving in our streets. So these are from the left perspective, which is the CO2 cut. From the methane perspectives, it's very important also, because in the next 20 years, the population of the world is going to continue to grow. It means more food. More food means more agricultural activity, but agriculture is the main source of the methane emission. So what should we do with this methane? So there is the technology that now we are seeing, like the new chemicals, or the genetic therapy for the livestock that we have, forestation, combating deforestation. So these are the technologies and companies which are working on this solution. Just to let you know that there are many private and a couple of the public companies who are pouring billions of dollars in this technology, and we think they're going to be an amazing opportunity.
Comme qu'on voit, il y a plusieurs possibilités d'investissement, autant dans la réduction des gaz à effet de serre, et autant en augmentant la durabilité environnementale. Il y a beaucoup de nouvelles compagnies, de nouvelles avenues qui se présentent pour permettre aux investisseurs de capitaliser sur ces tendances relativement lourdes. Ensuite, on se déplace à l'ère verte, dans le sens qu'on se déplace à l'électricité. Asank, can you go over that?
Sure. So it's very tangible. So right now, 4.5% of all the coal that's sold in the world is EV. We're expecting in 2025, this number is going to be 15%. In the context of our own country, Canada, so about 3% of all the cars are EV, in British Columbia right now, 9% of the cars that are sold are EV. So it's telling us that it's coming.
Et c'est là qu'on voit en scène que la Colombie-Britannique ou l'Ouest canadien a toujours été plus avancé sur le côté environnemental, le côté, côté environnement, côté désengorger les autoroutes ou de diminuer la pollution versus le Québec où on a beaucoup d'électricité, l'Est du Canada, qu'on a beaucoup plus d'électricité, on était plus lent à prendre ces virages-là. Mais on commence à le reprendre. So go ahead, Hassan.
Exactly. That's why we think that it's not just about the car itself. It's about the supply chain of this change. Okay.
Ouais,
so, for example, think about if the cars get to be EV, what's going to happen to the habit of the consumer when they want to charge their car? So the convenience, the change that you're going to see in the convenience store and also at this gas station, it's going to be a huge change in the merchandise habit and the business model of those guys. And also that's very important. And also, as I said before, it's not just about the passenger vehicle. What about the bus? What about all these trucks? They're 24/7 on the road and they emit so much more per car versus the passenger car. And the last thing about this is, okay, so if I want to, speaking about electricity or renewable electricity coming from either solar or wind, what about the situation that there's no wind and there's no sun, there's rainy days? So
storage, entreposage.
Exactly, so storage is important then. And Bruno will speak in the next slide.
On voit que les batteries et le stockage vont être l'élément clé pour les années à venir. Hassan, can you go ahead?
Yeah. So speaking of the storage, right now, the best solution that we have, one of the best solutions that we have is lithium. The physics is very simple. In the physics, you have cathode, you have anode, and then you have a liquid between, and then electricity moves because of the ion move here. However, you have to be careful that right now is a lithium, which make these for all these EV things, but 65% of the batteries, which are lithium-based batteries, come from China. And as you see, the price of the lithium is to the roof right now.
C'est incroyable. Depuis 3 mois, il a presque doublé. 4 mois, le lithium a presque doublé en dollars américains.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. So if from the investment perspective, it rings the bell that, oh, it's a commodity first, so it goes up and goes down rapidly, and you have the geopolitical problem when 65% of your in-need commodity is in the hand of one country.
Yeah. So, on voit les producteurs de lithium où c'est produit en Chine et aussi au Chili. Voici un exemple concret d'une usine de traitement d'une mine de lithium au Chili. On voit les différents bassins de différentes couleurs. C'est Hassan, can you comment on this picture and also all these major producers of lithium?
Sure. This beautiful picture, like the rainbow picture, is about the salt, the water salt, and the lithium salt that we are seeing. That's a process of getting the lithium out of the operation. But the more important part is about the table. So as I said, we are thinking about the valuation perspective. Good idea is great, but entering to the good idea at
what cost, at what price
is very important. So look at these companies. These are the 4 big companies who produce lithium, and the valuation of these companies is to the roof.
Yeah.
And I think, Francis, you can comment on the valuation here from the numbers.
Ouais, acheter à 20 fois la valeur de l'entreprise ou en moyenne 30 fois la valeur de l'entreprise, c'est évident que ces entreprises sont en croissance, mais elles ne sont pas cash flow positifs, ne sont pas rentables, bien entendu. C'est que c'est pas donné. On voit qu'il y a énormément de demandes. Mais bon, à un moment donné, si une nouvelle technologie sort, peut-être le lithium va être remplacé par quelque chose d'autre. On peut voir ces titres-là dégringoler de manière assez fulgurante.
Yeah, that's it. So we are not saying it's going to go plunging, but we're saying that you're paying high value for what you get.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactement. Yeah. Et la dernière section de la présentation, le rechargement des batteries.
Yeah, exactly. So there's one more risk here, the risk of competition. Lithium is a dominant player right now for the EV market, but there's one problem. It's heavy. The battery out of the lithium are heavy, and the storage is not the optimum yet, and the speed of getting charged. So Tesla, Panasonic, and the other companies are working for the new ideas. Like if you can, just out of curiosity, if you want, you can Google QuantumScape. They are working on the solid, not on the liquid batteries. So that's one point that I want to mention. The other one was about the new investment opportunity out of the process of charging, the charging station. I wanna take your attention here. When we speak about this concept, think about New York or Chicago or Toronto downtown. When you have the multi-residential properties, which all the resident doesn't have garage, so they park outside on the street. So the question is, if they want to charge the car, what's the solution? They have to go to the public stations. So then the question is how fast they can get the car charged. So you have different solution here, which is based on innovation. The faster, of course, is the better, but it's very more expensive, and they're still working on that, and it's not widespread. So these are the investment theme that we are thinking. It's more than just EV itself. It's more than Tesla or Lucid. It's a second or also third derivatives of this change. The last comment that I want to make is about this photo. There's another company who's working on this theme of investment. You see, these are the plug. These are the head of the plug of different cars company, EV companies. They're not the same. So what does it? They're not comparable. They cannot charge with each other's station.
On ne peut pas les utiliser d'une compagnie à l'autre, d'un modèle d'auto à l'autre. Ça, c'est une problématique. Ça. Il n'y a pas d'adapteur pour le moment. No adapter. No adaptation yet right now. Yeah.
And that was it for the EV or sustainable investing from me.
Bien, merci beaucoup, Hassan. Comme vous savez, pour nous, c'est une opportunité d'investissement. À quel prix, on ne sait pas encore parce qu'on trouve que c'est relativement dispendieux. Mais bon, si vous voulez la présentation, si vous voulez en discuter davantage avec nous, gênez-vous pas. On est à l'affût de nouvelles idées, puis on se tenait à faire cette vidéo-là. Merci et à la prochaine.
Merci beaucoup.